For what purpose, Master Chief?
To give the Covenant back their bomb.
Have you ever been playing a game and thought to yourself, this character is pretty insanely overpowered? Like, so overpowered that anyone on the receiving end of their fury would be incessantly tweeting the developers to please nerf ASAP because they're coming up against something that defies logic. Well, if you have thought that, good on you, because we've thought of the overpowered characters in games too. We thought about them so much that we went ahead and created a list of the 10 most overpowered characters in gaming.
I know what you're thinking, and it's crazy.
So, stay here.
Unfortunately for us both, I like crazy.
First up is our favorite intergalactic super soldier. Master Chief will probably come across as quite a chump by the end of this video, but don't you worry, he's pretty overpowered. The Chief is able to casually survive a fall from orbit, or fly a megabomb through space from one ship to another, and then casually float to the relative safety of another ship, all in the middle of a major space battle. And that's not even the best part either. Master Chief, or John 117, manages to get an entire species of aliens to fear him. As in, fear him to such an extent that they send armadas just to try and stop the guy. Now that's what we call overpowered.
For a brick, he flew pretty good.
Chief.
Imagine you're a security guard, just going about your daily business protecting the nameless corporation you work for, and a guy who controls electricity falls out of the sky and decides to wreak havoc. What do? Nothing. That's what. What can you do anyway? Cole MacGrath literally controls electricity and has super strength and faster healing. You could probably try and shoot him, but honestly, what good would that even do? Cole would probably just use his favorite surprise electric chair gag on you, and that would be it. Security guard on toast, courtesy of the crazy bastard who controls the thing that powers everything we have. Star Wars fans might remember the epic scene in Empire Strikes Back, where Luke struggles to focus his powers enough to lift his X-Wing out of the swamp. Luke being one of the most powerful Jedis at the time. Then there's Galen Marek, aka Starkiller in the Force Unleashed franchise, who sort of makes a mockery of the Force with just how powerful he is. If you think that Luke needed immense concentration to make that X-Wing move, Marek just crushes all sorts of aircraft just by glancing at them. He also casually explodes stormtroopers and their AT-ST walkers, and basically anything that crosses his path. Long story short, Galen Marek kind of makes all the Jedi and Sith from the movies look hilariously weak by comparison.
Of all the lives you should worry about, heroes, mine is not one of them.
There are gods, and then there are god killers. Kratos is both. Kratos also has what can only be described as the worst anger management problem in the history of everything. It's so bad that Kratos just doesn't care about what his actions do to the world anymore. He kills Kronos, the god of time, like it won't ruin the whole concept of time for the whole world. But it's just a testament to how overpowered he is. He's not even a full god, just a demigod. And yet somehow he possesses the power to not just kill, but brutally dismember anyone who is even somewhat related to Mount Olympus. Even the actual god of war Ares gets dethroned, and Kratos just straight up steals that title from him. Okay, the gods reward him with the title, but Kratos just ends up slaughtering all of them in the end anyway. Now it seems like Olympus wasn't enough, and now he's off to Asgard. From gods to demons, or rather demigods to demi-demons, we have Dante, who could maybe give Kratos a run for his money. Okay, maybe not, but Dante's no slouch. As a result of his half-demonic nature, he's got a fair few powers up his sleeves, mostly the usual suspects like super speed, and strength, and super healing. But the one that makes Dante truly ridiculous is his ability to go from half-demon to full demon. That's when the aforementioned powers go into overdrive and Dante is able to lay waste to anything and everything that gets in his way. And he even lays waste to the things that don't get in his way, just for kicks. He is a demon after all, and they're not often the nicest beings.
I'm the reason for all of this. They call me a killer, a monster, a terrorist. I'm all of these things.
We'll preface this entry by saying that Alex Mercer has been nuked, and he survived it. Sometimes game developers decide that their character isn't hilariously overpowered enough, and someone like Alex Mercer is born. Alex possesses the power of a virus that makes him instantly heal, super strong, super fast, and super smart. Oh, and he's also able to take whatever human form he wants. And he can also transform his body into an array of ungodly weapons with which he can happily level a city, which he does. Alex Mercer is basically what you would come up with if you set out to create a character that is more overpowered than the Hulk on steroids, which is an entertaining thought in and out of itself. We know a Guardian on Destiny. They're not that overpowered, they die all the time. But there's the clincher. They don't die. They just keep respawning endlessly and keep destroying everything in their path in the quest for loot. At some point you have to feel sorry for all the bosses in the game because they just keep getting killed. The Guardians are all just magical space wizards that, on top of not dying, can repurpose all foreign ammunition to suit their immense weapons, charge up apocalyptic superpowers by killing their foes, only to kill loads more foes with more fast weapons. It's actually quite sad for the enemy races, if you really think about it. It's such an unfair fight when your opponent can't die and keeps getting stronger as time passes. Anyone who's played Final Fantasy VII already has quite a hatred for Sephiroth, due to reasons we won't mention here, spoilers and whatnot. But aside from killing Ares, it's a 20-year-old game, guys, spoilers or not. Anyway, aside from all that, Sephiroth is pretty overpowered, and he makes use of that fact a lot. Super strength, speed, and reflexes, and a sword taller than the Empire State Building, which seems awfully impractical to carry around on a day-to-day basis. Basically, Sephiroth has a lot going on for him. But that wasn't enough for him, so he assimilated with Genova, which essentially made him into a giant being that could cast magic infinitely and fly. All in all, Sephiroth really just kinda took the piss a bit. You might be quick to point out the similarities between Asura and Kratos, both being demigods with rage issues, but Asura is quite different. To start with, Asura came up against a planet-sized enemy in Wyzyn. Yeah, you heard that right. A planet-sized demigod. Asura won, because he's that much of a rage monster that he can just punch a planet so constantly and incessantly that the planet eventually loses. How crazy is that? We understand getting annoyed at something and punching it, but getting so exponentially annoyed with something that you don't stop punching until said something is completely obliterated. That might be taking this a little bit too far, and that's why Asura makes our list. The psychotic bastard. The only way to introduce Deathwing is to say that when he woke up, the Earth actually shattered in such a way that the world was permanently changed as a result. Now that you've got an idea of how immense this creature is, we can start to detail why exactly he's overpowered, as if that's even necessary anymore. Deathwing is about the size of a small mountain. Not quite Everest, but maybe the Matterhorn. On top of that, he has armor-plated scales, over which lava is constantly pouring. which he can control. Yeah, Deathwing can control lava. How unfair is that? It's bad enough that a dragon can breathe fire, but this thing can control lava. Deathwing doesn't even need to attack you to win as well. He basically needs to sit down a little bit aggressively and cause an apocalyptic earthquake. Or fart in your general direction and cause a hurricane.
Of Azeroth will break.
And that about sums up the most overpowered characters that exist in gaming. They seem like a fun bunch, don't they? Did we miss any? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to like, share and subscribe for more random lists here at ZoominGames.
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.